Hi, this is Ryan with HUSNG.com, and I'm here with Coffee.
Hey guys.
We're doing another coffee break. Coffee, tell us a little bit about hero calling.
Yeah, so hero calling, first of all, is sort of technical jargon almost, but it's good to know what it really means. So hero calling essentially means when you're in a spot, you're calling with a hand that figures to beat none of your opponent's value, but you figure to have sort of just enough air, not just enough bluffs that they're betting, just enough air that they're bluffing with to make it okay, despite the fact that you don't have a hand that beats any of villain's value. And it's a really interesting sort of class of hands because they exist in many, many situations. And a lot of them are will have very similar properties. So, essentially most like bottom pair, middle pair, even sometimes ace high, all those hands could be all possible hero call hands in some river spot. And so one of the things I try to focus on with students when they are in situations where they're considering making a hero call, considering making one of these close calls, is to really try to examine the details. So you want to think about, first off, starting ranges. How good of a hand do you have? Because maybe you're not making a hero call. Maybe you're making sort of like a spew call. Maybe you're calling with a hand that should always be folded, right? It's just too weak of a hand. It doesn't even beat some of villain's bluffs, for instance. And if you don't beat someone's villain's bluffs, it's a pretty clear hand that you can usually just be folding. So maybe that's a mistake. And so the other thing you can also focus on is making sure that you're always calling with the hands that are sort of above hero calls. Making sure that if you sometimes have a place where your opponent's bluffing sometimes and is betting thinner value than your hand, that you should make sure you are calling. And then it's those hands in between that give people a lot of frustration. And on one hand, you can sort of liberate yourself of some frustration by just remembering that the EVs, in theory, should be close. If your opponent's playing well, the actual EV of hero calling and hero folding is really close. The only thing you have to worry is if your opponent's playing poorly, you might want to exploit them, or if he's playing very well and you're not playing very well, he might exploit you. But otherwise, you will usually be trying to pick a good hero calling hand, and when you're in a spot you think you should be hero calling, try to just go back to your hand and figure out, are you sure it's a hero call hand? And then, there's always some tiebreakers, how good of a hero call hand is this? And that's, I try to focus on in those hero call situations.
Thanks a lot, Coffee. This has been another installment of the Coffee Break.